I think one of the biggest challenges of my entrepreneurial journey has been knowing whether I was going in the right direction. And so I've been thinking about this for the last couple of days. We went over knowledge as part of the works model last week or earlier this week. And one of the thoughts I had was, as you are gathering information, the most significant way that you will gain knowledge is by asking questions. I was in luxury retail. They taught us about asking, I forgot what they call the questions, but active listening. So active listening is about asking the right questions. Asking questions that you might actually know the answers to, but getting the information, hearing it from that person and helping them feel like they are being heard. And also, if you ask a question and listen actively, instead of fully assuming that you know, you might find out a subtle nuance of what you thought you knew, or you may find out that you were completely wrong. So if you are actively listening, that's one of the primary ways that you gain knowledge. But the other thing, I talked about using the knowledge that you gain. If you don't use the knowledge you gain, you will never get understanding. You will never understand how to use the information that you get. The Bible says knowledge puffs up. If you just know a lot, it makes you proud. It makes you think you know more than you really do. And so until you apply the information that you've learned, you can't go on, and you can't go on to the next step, which is understanding and then wisdom, and knowing exactly how to use it practically, how to apply what you have, the knowledge that you have. But if you are not applying any of the information, you can't possibly know, right? So that was one thought I had today. So this is going to be a hodgepodge. How do you know? I'm in this amazing mastermind, which I've mentioned before. And so there were several people in the mastermind today that said things that were like, ding, 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 yes, 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 that's it. And one was Richelle Shaw, who's the leader of our group, my mentor. She said, ideas make you feel good, but implementation makes you money. So you can have an idea, you can even know the steps you need to take to implement that idea, but until you actually apply it, you will never make any money. That part, right? And I have had, as I've coached entrepreneurs for the last 30 years or over the last 30 years, I've heard so many people say, I've got this idea, but I don't want anybody to steal it, so I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to share it. I need to copyright it or trademark it before I start talking because I don't want anybody to take my idea. And the truth is that ideas are literally a dime a dozen. Ideas are falling out of the sky. I've had several instances where I've had an idea for something that literally was 100% my unique thought. It wasn't even inspired or by anybody else. It was something that I came up with all by myself. And once I used it and implemented it, come to find out, I wasn't the first one to think of that same thing at all. There were other people already doing it. There might have been some little twist to it or whatever, but they were doing the exact thing, the same idea. I've named things, named products, and come to find out somebody else is already using the name. So it's not like, there's one idea given to one person and you're the only one who could ever get it. It's who is implementing it. And just because someone else has the same idea or has implemented the same thing doesn't even mean that you can't do it. But you have to understand that ideas are only valuable when they are actually implemented, because the implementation is the thing that gets you paid. Okay. And then I love this. Shelby Brown said today, another of the people in our group, she said an entrepreneurial journey is personal. It's just your journey. And she was saying that in the context of the fact that we go to school, and when we go to school, school is preparing us for a job, to have a job. School does not prepare you for critical thinking. School does not prepare you for entrepreneurial work. School is telling you this is the path you're supposed to follow. This is how this is supposed to be done. And that's valuable. However, even with all that information, every person that's in that course of study has to go through their own journey as they use that information. There are so many variables that shift and change. So being an entrepreneur is personal. It's your own journey. It's not something that anybody else can define for you. You have to go through it. We can all get information from other people. I have a mentor, but just because it happened a certain way when they did it doesn't mean it's actually going to be that way for you. So just knowing, I hope it's liberating to understand that it's your situation, it's your journey. Now, we need other people. We were also talking about that, how valuable the time in our group is, because we're engaged with people who are not doing the exact same businesses, not sharing the same ideas. They don't have even the same knowledge base that, we all don't have the same knowledge base, but we are going through a transformational process at the same time. So there's this amazing synergy and understanding among us for what we're all going through. So that is valuable because it's helping us all to walk through our own personal journey. Okay. And I love this. Richelle asked, how do you know how I know if you are actually implementing what we're talking about? And none of us could answer the question, of course. And she said, I know that you are implementing if you have questions. And it made me think of the fact that over these years, every time I've gotten team members or every time I've tried to develop partnerships, I'll send people links to information for my projects, for just different ideas, different strategies, all kinds of things. And I do this for a living. I build brands for a living. So I have lots of links, always, lots of products, many, many, many examples. And what gets me is I can send somebody almost a page of links, and I'll ask, hey, did you get it? Did you get that? Did you look at it? They'll say, yes, 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 yes. Oh, you have any questions? No. The most frustrating answer on the planet. How in the world could I give you all of that and you have no questions? And if there's somebody that I was trying to hire for a project and I send them information and they have no questions whatsoever, it's not possible. This is something that you know nothing about in terms of what I am doing. So how is it that you have no question? And I think what she was touching on is that if once you are in the arena working and building and doing things, you are going to run into something that you don't quite understand. Even if you feel like you should know it, that doesn't mean that you'll understand in that moment exactly how to do it. So you have to have a question. You're going to have a question. So if you don't have questions, if you're not asking more of other people, you're not asking, even doing more research, asking more questions, even online to get the answers that you need, that means that you're not actually in the arena, actually working, that you're not developing, that you're not growing, that you're not building, because there's no way that you can step into the unknown and not ask a question. And if you are doing something that you know so well that you don't have to ask a question at all, you are definitely not growing as well. So doesn't mean that you're not prospering, that you're not doing well, that you're not successful. It just means you're not growing. And then let's see. I think that's it. That's it for today. I was just asking, I wanted to ask the question today, how do you know? How do you know if you're going in the right direction? And I think the moral of that story is you have to ask.